frankly, I'm a pretty big fan of what New Orleans has done so far this offseason. Quick little breakdown of all their moves. JJ Redick comes in. That was a surprise. More on him. Nicolo Melli, we'll discuss him too. They also declined offers for Diallo and Stanley Johnson. They did bring back Jahlil Okafor. And then they also went ahead and re-signed Darius Miller, which that one, not quite as sold on that being the best move. But I did love the JJ Redick signing.
Yeah, this was the first real surprise of the NBA offseason. Signs a 2-year, $26 million deal with the Pelicans. And look, he averaged a career high last season in what is, I would assume, the peak of his career. I don't know where he even goes from here, but shooting is an instant boost. I mean, that's what you need alongside a guy like Zion Williamson as your star. Great pickup for the Pelicans. They also get a veteran leader, which they definitely needed. Like, Jrue Holiday's great there. JJ Redick is experienced as well, so I like it a lot.
He had a fantastic year, 18.1 points per game. That was a career high for Redick, which you would guess it'd be higher, right? You would think he had to average 19. He just shoots threes all game.
Yeah, you would think he would, but hey, all he has to do is sit there and wait for an open shot, and he's gonna find them too, especially on a New Orleans team where all the defense is drawn to Zion Williamson. All the defense is seeing what Jrue Holiday does with the ball. Brandon Ingram, if he breaks out right. Lonzo Ball is going to be able to find JJ Redick on the wing. So, great pickup here for New Orleans. Now, $13 million, we can argue whether or not that's a great price, but I think it's just right for him.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that this is the way things went down. That was one of the initial, like, oh, wait, what? That went down? Kind of in that initial rush when free agency opened. Of course,
right.
Kevin Durant did not follow those rules themselves. So let us know in the comment section. Did Redick to the Pelicans shock you guys? Let us know. We'll get some shouts and see what the typical voting is. I was surprised because I didn't hear a single peep about that.
Yeah, I'd definitely be typing Y for yes. I thought he was going back to the 76ers, or I thought he might go with the Lakers for that matter. But he ends up going to New Orleans, probably finding a pretty good home. Louis says yes. It's just about all yeses here. Barrett says no. Tyson Tice says no. There's a couple no's in here, which, if it didn't shock you a little bit, then you got some inside sources because nobody heard a peep about that.
I see a couple N's, but the Y's definitely have it there in the end. I think that makes sense, what I just said there. Now, not technically part of free agency, but it kind of sort of really is in the end. The Pelicans and the Utah Jazz. The Pelicans, they get Derrick Favors. Utah then gets a pair of second-round picks from the Warriors down the road, so those will be in the 50s probably.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, hey, we're probably going to have to waive Derrick Favors. Why don't we try to get something for him? And they did, and I think it was a great pickup again here by the New Orleans Pelicans to go get a veteran that can play either the forward position or the center position. He's only going to be 28 years old in July. He's making a lot of money, but it's kind of like, what else are you going to spend it on? Because there's not really going to be any big free agents attracted to the Pelicans. So they go out and get a quality big man that, hey, if you want to start him at center, fine. If you need to give Zion Williamson some relief at power forward, great. He can do that for you as well.
By the way, folks, type bot in the comment section. One of the bots is back. So
oh, no.
I got to get rid of it.
That's the only way you can
type
get rid of the bots.
It'll help it go away.
If everyone
YouTube
watching types bot.
It tells YouTube there's something that's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, but it works for some reason. It gets rid of them.
Derrick Favors, meanwhile, look, he's never been the guy that everyone hoped he was going to be, and he wasn't even that great last year, 12.7 rebounds. He's an in-the-paint presence, but the Pelicans didn't need that, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and that's what they got off the bench especially. I would assume he comes off the bench behind Jaxson Hayes and Zion Williamson, but frankly, he could start if they don't want to start Hayes yet, so I like it. I think it's a great value move. You only gave up 2 second-round picks. That probably didn't mean that much to you anyway.
All right, folks. Thank you all for typing in bot. Now we got a question for you guys. What's your favorite number? Throw it into the comment section. There are 2 numbers I know you guys are going to put in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's coming.
No shout-outs for those.
You knew. Hey, someone put my favorite number. Someone put 24 in there. That's mine. So
lots of 23s there. 13, 5, 27, 123. That's what I haven't seen the numbers I thought we were going to see.
We haven't seen them once yet.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on
5 and 9 are my numbers, by the way. 5 is what I wore playing baseball there.
77. Shout out Luka Doncic.
I haven't seen a single one.
I see a back.
There it is. Pablo got it.
Pablo got one of them. There's one more number though that I'm still waiting on.
Lots of 2s, 3s, lots of. Oh, there you go, Galactic. Let's see. Lots of 2s. I think the 2s might be the most common number in there.
They're all obsessed with Lonzo Ball, I guess is what it is.
Oh, there it is, Zach. Zach
Thanks,
got
Zach.
it.
Nice.
The numbers were 69 and 420.
Yep.
Because we don't have any maturity here at Chat Sports.
Yep.
All right, back to the Pelicans meanwhile here. Darius or Miller, what do you make of this one here?
This was the first signing the Pelicans made that I just absolutely hated. 2 years, $14.25 million for a guy that I didn't even think was getting real minutes. Now, I guess he's a good shooter, and he started sometimes for the Pelicans, so it was kind of like, hey, why don't we bring him back? But $7 million for Darius Miller seems like quite a bit to me.
It is only 1 year, so it'll be off the books after this. I thought it was too expensive. He did start plenty. I guess he gives you another wing option. But I was surprised you're going to pay him $7 million when you want to give those minutes to Brandon Ingram, and you got so many guards, you got to play them.
Yeah.
Could Miller be a trade chip potentially?
Potentially, if you package him up with something, I guess. But
I'm just spitballing here.
I mean, a guy that I think the Pelicans should have gone after if they wanted to go get a wing that was similar to this is Dorian Finney-Smith. He only went for $4 million per year, and they got him. The Mavs got him locked down long term. But Darius Miller comes back on $7 million. So whatever.
Does offer some shooting, fairly jacked too, but 36.5 from deep. Again, I think he'll play a bench role, but it is a little tricky finding the minutes for him when they kind of have a plethora of guards, frankly.
Yeah, it was just kind of hey, he's a veteran. Maybe it's some assurance if Brandon Ingram goes down, gets hurt, or frankly, if he just doesn't turn out, then you just have a guy that knows the system.
All right, folks. Also, Jahlil Okafor is going to remain a member of the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans, I think, smartly did pick up his option after this year when he kind of had I don't know if breakout year is the right term there, Jimmy, but competent year as a bench player down in NOLA.
Yeah, he sure did. I actually, good for Jahlil Okafor. It's a great comeback story. He was dealing with some stuff off the court, and he came back really strong here for the Pelicans. I like it a lot. I think it was smart to just bring him back for, barely doing anything. I mean, it's really a good year off the bench, especially, when Anthony Davis went down, or when Anthony Davis, quote, went down and just didn't play. Then Jahlil Okafor stepped up in a big way for the Pelicans.
All right, folks, so which one is better? We're in summertime now. It is cookout and grill time.
This is an easy answer.
Hot dogs or burgers? Okay, Jimmy, which one's better? Because I think they are both delicious.
They are.
Also, shout out everyone spamming Zaza to trigger Jimmy. I love you guys.
Wow, that was really fast.
There's a bunch of Zazas in there.
It's very obvious which one it is here, Tom. It's a burger.
Okay.
Burger is always better than a hot dog. I don't care where you are, when you're there. I would take a hamburger 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Follow up, what do you put on your hamburger?
I guess it depends. I'm a big avocado, bacon, Swiss cheese guy.
That good
light,
choice there.
Light mayo, and then sometimes ketchup, but I'm not always the biggest ketchup guy. It's kind of like I don't do lettuce, tomato, all that jazz. Just give me bacon, avocado, cheese.
I think the burgers definitely have it here.
Good.
If I have to pick one, although I like hot dogs, I'm going to go with burgers there in the end. So,
I wanted to get in a fight here just in case. But,
sorry, Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest Corporation there. All right, Nicolo Melli, he's also headed to the Pelicans on a 2-year deal, kind of a stretch 4 type.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bigger guy,
6'9".
6'9". Nice height there, but 2-year deal for the New Orleans Pelicans, and he's a good shooter. I mean, over 4 years over in the EuroLeague, he shot 42.1% from 3, and he's got NBA-ready skills. I mean, that's why they're bringing him over, is because they feel he can actually play in the NBA. He fits perfectly alongside Zion because Zion needs people to space the floor with him, and Nicolo Melli, he does that for him, and Nicolo replaces Nicola.
Yeah, it's very obvious comparison because the overseas dude named Nick, some variation of that, but Nicolo Melli's game is kind of like Nikola Mirotic's game.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how he ends up playing there. Now, as what this means overall for the Pelicans here and their current lineup, they've got other options on the bench, but I mentioned the guards. They go 5 deep, frankly. At least.
I would think so. I mean, look, you got Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Redick.
Who I like a lot.
I do too. Redick, Hart, Ball, Holiday. I mean, that's 5 really good guards, assuming Nickeil Alexander-Walker actually turns out. Now, I guess Redick, if Alexander-Walker spends some time in the G League, Redick could shift over to that 2 slot, and Nicolo Melli could get some 3 minutes, and maybe even Darius Miller. So they've kind of filled out their roster really nicely, and it's almost like they have too much talent to decide who's going to play.
Yeah, they have a lot of decisions to make in terms of balancing out the minutes there, but grade the Pelicans' free agency moves. A, B, C, D, or F. Jimmy, I'll let you go first. What do you give it?
Look, had they not signed Darius Miller to $7 million a year, I probably would have given it an A, probably an A+ for that matter. But I'm going to give it a B+ because I really didn't like that move. But overall, great offseason. Free agency only. This does not count the draft. You can't count Zion, Jaxson Hayes, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Only think about NBA free agency when you're grading the Pelicans' moves. What about you?
I lean more towards a B+ range there.
Yeah.
I'm not factoring in Zion like you said. I don't really love the pickup in the end of adding adding Darius Miller. I thought that was a bit expensive and overpriced there, but I thought it ended up being an acceptable decision. In the end, it's still a positive free agency period. I like the JJ pickup a lot there in the end.
I like JJ and Derrick Favors, but I'll say this. If they're not fighting for a playoff spot next year, like if they fall behind, then it's kind of like, now we got to look to move these older veterans that,
Redick
of course,
might have some trade value, though.
And Redick is only on 2 years. Derrick Favors, I believe, is in the last year of his deal.
Is.
So it's kind of like, hey, if they don't work out, you could just trade them.
Yep. All right, folks. So let us know in the comments section A, B, C, D, or F.